need to
Ah,
now switch
I
to the
see.
Zoom and a little bit
It's a
all
little
the
bit
stuff.
different.
A
Yeah.
little all the stuff is new
Yeah.
Andy and for me. So
Understood.
he trying to find the way.
I think we're live now.
1 minute. Yeah, we are live.
Nice. Josh, we'll make a small introduction in Russian, then we'll discuss.
Perfect.
Привет, ребята. Сегодня у нас первый стрим через OBS, а не через Hangouts, как мы обычно делаем. Поэтому могут быть какие-то технические, может быть, проблемы. Если что, простите. Сегодня у нас в гостях... Джош Фрейзер. Это кофаундер Origin Protocol. Сегодня мы будем подробно про него разговаривать. Это что-то типа маркетплейса на блокчейне. И сегодня у нас наш соведущий Леха. Привет, Леха.
Привет. Hey, Josh.
Hi, Josh. So
Hi.
we can start. Can you please tell us your background? How you become
Sure.
a co-founder of marketplace?
Yeah. Well, how far back do you want to go? I started playing with computers when I was 10. Built websites and wrote software applications since I was a kid. Studied computer science in college, and throughout my career, I've been building companies. I've been doing startups. First company I started was with Techstars in Colorado. And so went through that program, raised some money from investors, and learned a lot about what it takes to build products. That first company failed, but I went back to my original investors and told them, sorry, I lost your money. Can I have some more, please? And to my surprise, they said yes. And I was able to start a second company called Torbit, which had a successful outcome. We sold that company to Walmart. When we were doing performance optimization, making websites load faster. We worked with some of the biggest companies in the world, like Microsoft and Intel and Johnson & Johnson and Amazon, and lots of internet retailers. After that, I did another venture-backed company called Forage, which we were doing meal kit delivery. So we'd send you all the ingredients you need to make dinner. Did that for a couple of years, left to go and start working with Matt, who's my current co-founder now. And we worked on a number of bootstrapped businesses that just generated a lot of cash. And Matt's story is similarly quite impressive. He Stanford MBA, was one of the early guys at YouTube. So he was 25th employee at YouTube, part of that acquisition at Google, and then went on and joined two other startups that then were acquired as well. So Matt and I met, we started working on stuff, started building these bootstrap businesses. We're able to sell one of them. So Matt and I had a successful exit together. But Matt also got me more interested in crypto again. I'd been early in Bitcoin back in 2010. Actually, we could actually mine Bitcoin on a laptop. But unfortunately, I didn't keep doing it. I just mined a little bit and then sort of put it away and forgot about it. But Matt brought me back and got me excited about Ethereum and what you could do with programmable money. And so we started looking at what the most interesting applications of this technology were. And one of the ones we kept hearing people talk about is this idea of getting rid of middlemen, getting rid of intermediaries, and how blockchain allows people to transact without having to trust each other. And so as we were looking around at what are the types of applications that made the most sense, that's when we stumbled upon the idea of Origin.
And how you heard about Bitcoin before? Why you start to mine in it? It's strange things was at the past. It was like dark market and all this stuff there, no?
So this was before, in 2010, Bitcoin wasn't on any exchanges. There was Bitcoin faucets. I actually got my very first Bitcoin from a Bitcoin faucet. You put in your address and hit the button, it would just send you some, right?
And how much you get?
I think at first it was like they started with like 1 Bitcoin, We'd send you like an entire Bitcoin. And then slowly it went down, and I think we'd send you like, you know, a tenth of a Bitcoin or something.
Okay.
But yeah, it's amazing, right? And so yeah, I remember reading a white paper, playing with a faucet, downloading the software, and doing a little bit of mining. And of course, all of it is just like intellectually interesting, right? Like, oh, wouldn't it be interesting if you could replace money with this? But there was no value to it, right? It was very hard to imagine. And there's no way to predict it would have as much value as it does today. And so I thought it was interesting from an intellectual standpoint, but had no idea that it was going to become this huge phenomenon.
And for sure, you lost all the Bitcoins that you get there, or not?
So I still have a little bit of Bitcoin that I mined in the early days.
From 2010? Yeah? Really?
I still have it. I haven't sold any of it.
So it's wallets that without any transactions that we see in the news. It's all your Bitcoins.
It's all me. I am Satoshi Nakamoto. Just kidding.
Okay. It's fine. Okay, let's talk a little bit about what is your project now. What is the agent protocol? What is the idea? What
Sure.
How you get this idea to what?
So like I was saying, Matt and I were looking at what are the most useful applications for blockchain. And one of the things that kept setting out to us is like, when you have, how can we build new applications where people don't need to trust each other, right? Where we can remove intermediaries and allow people to transact in a trustless fashion. And over the last decade, we've seen this rise of the sharing economy. We've seen companies like Uber and Airbnb and Fiverr and Postmates and regional companies as well, like Greek, DD and Grab and different parts of the world that are really present themselves as peer-to-peer marketplaces, right? Where you can push a button on your phone and a private driver will pull up and pick you up and take you wherever you want to go, or you can stay in someone's home in a new city. And we think of these as peer-to-peer marketplaces, but they're not. They're peer to giant corporate monopoly to peer. And what we thought was one of the most interesting applications of the blockchain is to remove that middleman, remove that person sitting in between. And we think this is inevitable. If you look throughout history, middlemen have suffered a similar fate. The markets like to be efficient and like to cut out middlemen whenever possible. And we looked at, there was 4 reasons really why we thought this is something that's going to happen, and it's something that's really good and important for the world. First reason is you cut out the middleman, both the buyer and the seller get a better price. So if you can have an Uber or an Uber-like service or ride-sharing type service, but one that doesn't take 30% out of every ride, both the rider can get a better rate and the driver can make more money. Everyone wins. And so the first reason is just removing like those fees, cutting out the fees. Everyone wins by cutting it out. Secondly, we remove that single point of failure. And we've seen examples of this all over the world with Uber and Airbnb getting banned or shut down. I was actually hosting on Airbnb in San Francisco, and new regulations came in that put me out of business. And so that really drove home to me why it's important for us to have these peer-to-peer networks. Because you can't there's no single point of failure. You can't come in, pass one law, threaten to throw one executive in jail and shut the whole thing down. Blockchain applications are far, far more resilient than centralized applications. And we think that's really important and important technology to exist in the world. The third reason is redistributing the value to the people who are actually creating the value in the network. So I had a ride the other day with a guy. He was a 30th driver on Uber, and he's still driving for Uber today. But when Uber IPO'd, how much do you think he got? Nothing. But the first 100 drivers on Uber, like the company wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for those first people who spent all their time helping that company get off the ground, and yet they got nothing for it. And so when you think about how do we go and we encourage people to use this new type of application, and not only to use it, but to go out and invite their friends to use it too, we think the only way we have a fighting chance of doing that is if we share some of the upside with the early users. And now we can actually incentivize the early users on our platform and give them a stake in the network, so they're incentivized to go out and use it and invite their friends. And then lastly, the last point is it's opening up completely new markets that didn't exist before. There are billions of people on this planet who are unbanked, people who are not welcome, not able to use the existing marketplaces today for the simple reason that most applications require a credit card or a bank account. And if you don't have that, you're cut off from this global marketplace. And for the first time in history, all it takes is a $15 Android phone. And now you can buy and sell in this global marketplace, and you can connect people who've never been able to transact with each other before.
Okay. And the problem exists, of course. And how agent solve it? Because, can you explain what part we can decentralize on the marketplace? Okay, I understand how we can decentralize database, it's blockchain, but what about site? What about, I don't know, what about
we can
markets?
Decentralize Amazon, for example. How would be possible?
Sure. So you can actually see examples of this. So none of this is theoretical. We've been working on this for 2 years, and you can go to shoporigin.com and you can see this marketplace for yourself. You can download our mobile app on for either Apple or Android, and you can actually
wait for a minute. I will show you on the screen origin.com.
Awesome, great. So shoporigin.com is the marketplace where you can buy and sell. And the way it's decentralized is all those listings don't live on our server. They live on IPFS and the Ethereum network. So what that means is even if Origin shuts down, the marketplace will still live on. And so all of those listings are directly available on the blockchain. People can browse those listings. And if you want to buy them, you can put up money in escrow on a smart contract. And that smart contract will keep you safe throughout the transaction. So the funds are held in escrow until the buyer says that everything went well. And if anything goes wrong in that transaction, there's arbitration. And so you can loop in an arbitrator who can help keep you safe throughout that transaction. And so we can do all of this without having a central company sitting in between.
Hey, and can you show us the site?
Yep.
You want me to do it here, or Andre?
No. I'm asking Andy, and your mic is off.
Our viewers are watching on the screen. We are.
We are not. Okay, I understand. So let's talk. You are now using infrastructure of Ethereum, right? Maybe you can explain what part of shoporigin.com is now decentralized. Okay, we understand that transaction will go to the escrow, but what about site? Maybe someone want to turn off it, and what we can do with this?
Sure. So our website is just a bunch of HTML and JavaScript. You can serve it from anywhere. In fact, we have multiple versions of this running on IPFS as well. So you can actually load it directly from an IPFS gateway as long as you know a hash. That's all it takes to load it. You can also fire up. We have think of it as caching infrastructure in front. There's some things that are really hard to do in a completely decentralized way. For example, search is really hard to do in a fast way on the blockchain. And so we have a caching layer that is sitting in front of our website, which if you don't have that, it's a little slow and you'll lose some of the functionality. But 100% of our code is open source. And so you can grab that code, you can fire up your own instance, and you can point to your own caching server and you can get the exact same experience as what you have with Origin. We also have decentralized mode, so you can flip into that decentralized mode and connect directly to a blockchain and cut our caching servers out altogether.
So all of your code is open source. We can see it on your GitHub. Everything?
Yeah, 100% of the code we write is open source. We have over 150 contributors, so it's one of the largest open source blockchain projects out there, with contributors all over the world. And then on our core team, we have just a completely stacked engineering team. So we have one of the 6 founders of PayPal who's on our team. We have a first engineer from YouTube on our team. We have other people who are early at PayPal, YouTube, Dropbox, engineering managers at these companies that are now part of our team at Origin. And then they're working alongside the open source contributors every day. And a lot of projects in the blockchain space are open source. But what we've seen is sometimes they do all the work and then they sort of publish it every now and then to their GitHub, but they don't open up the process of how they're building the software. And so one of the things we really strive for is not only open source, but open collaboration. And so our Discord is open to the public, and all of our engineers and all of our contributors do their work in public. All our engineering meeting notes are public. All our engineering weekly hangouts and calls are public. And so you can actually go and look at what's on our roadmap, what we're working with, each and every day. You can see kind of what stuff our engineers are working on, what the challenges are. And this has been really a big part of our success, not only in helping us find great people all over the world who are inspired by this vision that we have, but it also helps people know that they can trust the system that we're building. You don't have to trust Origin. We're not trying to become the new middleman, right? We're trying to create something where you don't have to trust us. You can look at the code for yourself. You can look at the conversations and our thought process and how we made decisions. And you can decide for yourself whether you want to use Origin or not.
And mostly we know that all the companies that have open source code have some more or less problems with the economic model. What is your economic model at Origin?
Business model.
At Origin? Yeah.
I would argue with your premise. I think Bitcoin is open source and has no problems with the economic model at all. Right, so I don't think those are related. I think it helps people trust the system when it's open and everyone can audit it for themselves.
But who is the company under the Bitcoin com? We don't have company.
There's no company. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think so. Here's how we think about it. So first, let me explain what our token is for. All right. So all on our platform, people pay with Ethereum because lots of people have access to Ethereum. We also accept payment with DAI because it's more stable, and currency volatility is a real problem, especially when you have transactions that are happening over a long time period. Either the buyer or the seller will get screwed if the price moves around too much. So it's not a lot of people just assume that Origin or OGN token is a transactional token. Eventually you'll be able to use it for that, but it's not primarily what it's about. What blockchain has taught us is the power of incentives. Show us the incentive and I'll show you the outcome. And so we think about our token as a way of driving the behavior we want to see on our platform. How do we encourage healthy behavior, right? Ensure people are being good actors. And how do we ensure that they're continuing to help the health and growth of the network, inviting their friends and using our platform versus the centralized applications that exist. And so the way our token is used as an incentive token first and foremost. And so you can be incentivized, and we have a program called Origin Rewards. You can go to originrewards.com and you can participate in this program, and you get Origin tokens just for being an early user in the platform. And this is what I was talking about earlier. On one of the key ideas here is how we can incentivize all of our early users to be a part of this network. And so there's 6 different ways you can earn Origin tokens today, just from creating a profile, verifying who you are, making purchases on our platform of featured listings, following us on social media, sharing content on online as well, and promoting and inviting your friends to come and use the Origin platform. And so for all of you users, if you want to be an early holder of OGN, there's lots of different ways for you to do that. And we've given away hundreds and hundreds of thousands of tokens to early users on our platform. We're coming up on 10,000 unique wallets that are on our platform of people who have actually been using this and are some of our early stakeholders in this network that we're creating. How that token is used is as a way to promote your listings. So you can think of it a little bit like on Google. So on Google, it doesn't cost you anything to show up in our search results, in our organic search results. But if you want to be at the top of the search results, you have to pay, right? You pay a commission to Google, an affiliate fee to Google for showing your listing. And so we looked at that model, and a lot of our guys came from Google actually and worked on the ads product. And so we actually had some inspiration around this on how we can actually implement that in a decentralized way. And so how it works is sellers can offer an optional commission to whoever helps them get their listing sold. And so that could be Origin, it could be some other marketplace operator. Whoever helps drive that sale gets the commission. This is a very tried and true model. This is multi-billion-dollar industry of just like affiliate marketing and advertising markets. And so what we can do is the seller offers this commission, and whoever it is that drives that sale gets the Origin token. And so this is a way for sellers to boost their listing, make sure they're featured and in the different marketplaces that we have. And this is a great way for people who want to run marketplaces on the Origin platform to have a business model baked in. So not only do you get to run a decentralized marketplace, but you get to start earning right away from day one as well.
Okay, nice. And you said about referral program and that some early supporters can get some Origin tokens. And does the token currently have a price?
We are not currently listed, but obviously that's in the plans very soon. But it's a chance for people to get in early, even before that price has been set and before we're listed. Origin's a little different from pretty much every other project out there, right? Most projects raised a bunch of money, did the ICO, listed, and then they promised to go build the product. We actually did it backwards. We started working on the product first. We wrote the first version of our product before we even had a white paper, because we weren't sure how to actually implement it until we actually started working on it. So we built a prototype first, went and wrote the paper, did some pre-sale, and now we're starting to think more about what our long-term listing plans are. So we've done things in a very different way from most other projects out there in this space.
Okay. So now when we trying to invite our friends, we can't say that, hey guy, go there and get some of the price. We can say that you can get tokens, and for sure he can ask us, what is the price of token? How much I get? And you say, let's see how it will be in the future, right?
Well, and this is where you get rewarded for being an early adopter, right? The people who get in early, and we see this in Silicon Valley, right? The first investors, first employees, but people who take a bet on it, on something in the early days, just like, or even in the early days of Bitcoin, right? The people who were mining it, even though it was worthless and they had no idea what it was, those are the people who are rewarded later on down the road.
Okay, let's return to the platform, to the how it's working. If I understand correctly, your competitors in the normal space, it's like Amazon, eBay, right? And when you go to the Amazon, you go there because it's a low price there. It's low price because they have competition between some markets, and you always sure that they have some reputation system, and you can, if you desire there, then you have someone who decide this answer. How is it working on your system?
So think of it as an open protocol where we're trying to be this platform for any type of two-sided marketplace. So it's not just about replacing Amazon or just replacing eBay. We're not just trying to run a store ourselves. We're an open protocol for any type of marketplace. And we're focusing a lot on sharing economy type marketplaces, largely because we've seen, so really high fees. We've seen high censorship of these companies getting shut down. But really, when we boil it all down, we're creating a digital marketplace for buyers and sellers to find each other. Back in the day, people used to go to the town square, and that was a place where you knew that everyone would be, right? And so sellers would go to the town square because they knew there would be buyers. Buyers went to the town square because they knew there would be sellers, and they had a place to find each other and meet. And so, all of these marketplaces, whether it's Amazon or Uber or Airbnb, on the surface, they look like quite different companies. But when you fundamentally think about what they're doing, they're charging you a fee to make an introduction because the buyers and the sellers have no way of finding each other. But today we have a way, and it's called the blockchain. We can say, hey, this is a digital town square. Everyone meet here, and this is everyone meet in the same place at the same time. And now you can transact in a way without those intermediaries. And so while these marketplaces look very different on the outset, fundamentally they're providing the same service, which is introductions between buyers and sellers. And so our platform is a protocol, and we have open source libraries for anyone who wants to create any type of digital marketplace at all. Some of the early verticals we're seeing do well, of course, are home sharing. We've seen a lot of art is being sold on the marketplace. So we have things like pureart.io, which is a marketplace for fine art. People are buying and selling fine artwork on the marketplace. And why? Well, galleries usually take 50% out of every sale. And so if you're an artist and you have a way of connecting directly with art buyers, the blockchain is a great way to do that without having to give up half of your money to some middleman. Trips is a great example of Italy, where they're doing home sharing. We have hundreds of listings in Italy that you can book on the blockchain today. We also have cryptomerch.io. This is a marketplace of companies in the crypto space. They're selling, crypto swag, great t-shirts like this huddle one that I'm wearing. You can go and buy that on crypto merch today, and you can pick out a t-shirt from one of your favorite crypto companies, and you can buy some of that swag using crypto and without any intermediaries at all.
Okay, nice. One more question about how the system
how it works.
How it works. It's about I see here it's like egg problem when you because there is no reason for the buyer to go until there are many sellers, and there's no reason for the seller to spend energy to the platform until there are many buyers. How are you going to gain a critical mass of sellers? And after this, I think you have a lot of buyers there too.
Yeah, this chicken and egg problem is a challenge for any new marketplace. And so the way we think about it is with Origin Rewards. It's this program we have, which again, every one of your viewers should go there. Go grab your free Origin tokens. We'd love for you to take advantage of it and be a part of this with us. And when you grab your Origin tokens, you actually be incentivized to continue using our platform because you can earn Origin tokens for creating listings and for buying featured listings on our platform. And so what our solution to this cold start problem on how do you get both buyers and sellers at the same time. And the way our solution to it is we give them a stake in the network. And just like the early and people who in the early investors in Bitcoin or Ethereum, they bought a little bit, the price went up, they got excited, and then they wouldn't shut up about it, right? They went and told all of their friends, you have to go get into this new exciting thing. And then they became evangelists and went out and told all of our friends. We're hoping something similar happens here, where all of our early users are incentivized and excited about the platform because they got in at the ground level and they have a stake in helping us be successful. And if you're an Uber driver, you have an apartment you want to share, or you have a service that you can provide to the world, whether it's massage or cutting someone's lawn or whatever that may be, now you have a way to not only make money from the service that you're providing, but you can also be rewarded for being an early believer in that and helping the project be successful in the long run.
So this is the tokens, what we can get from, what we can see in every position on the marketplace. For example, price in dollars, and you can earn some tokens. What does it mean? For what tokens? How we can calculate how many tokens we can make on every kind of services we can provide or something like that?
Yeah, so Origin Rewards, again, there's 6 different ways you can earn. A lot of the listings on our marketplace have a little badge that tell you how many tokens you can earn. While they don't have a specific price, we can tell you there's 1 billion tokens, so it's limited supply, and so you can sort of know how much those tokens are in terms of the entire network value of a network. So again, originrewards.com, you can see the different ways that you can earn those tokens. It starts with just creating your profile and verifying who you are. We think identity.
Link?
Yeah, originrewards.com is the easiest way to get to it.
All right. So, nope.
Did you show it?
I'm trying to find it, but I can't. Reward.
Okay, Origin Rewards now going to shop agent.
Yep, that's correct.
The other way to do it at shoporigin.com, there should be a banner at the top. If you click on that, that should take you into the rewards program as well.
Okay.
See at the top, or maybe it says earn tokens. If you see the button that says earn tokens.
Sign up now there.
There you go.
Okay.
So.
No. This link. And after that, click sign up.
Yeah, so I'll take you through the process of creating a profile and participating in our rewards program, and then you'll see all the different ways you can earn. We have a very strong and enthusiastic community, particularly in Russia, of people who are participating in this program, and we love our Russian community and are thrilled to have so much support from that part of the world.
And you want to divide the platform for example, Russian-speaking language, Russian-speaking users and English-speaking users. So it will be only one platform where all the products will be.
Yeah, our website is already in 20 different languages, and it was translated by volunteers from our community. So if you know how to code, jump in and help us code. It's all open source. If you don't know how to code but you speak English, jump in and help us translate our content. We have an amazing community of people who are helping get the word out about what we're building, people who believe in this long-time vision of ours of building a world without these centralized middlemen taking huge fees and causing all these problems.
All the sites use one database, or it's
The
all
blockchain.
different?
It's all they all read right directly to the Ethereum database.
Okay.
So technically we write to IPFS, and then we take the IPFS hash and we put that on Ethereum. So you need to be able to connect to both of those networks.
Okay, it's a lot of hype around all new blockchains. Did you have some plans in the future to go to another blockchain, not using Ethereum?
I think we're taking a little bit of a wait and see approach. There's in our view, there's no Ethereum is still number one as far as developer tools and community, and also just supporting wallets and other tools that you need for people to be able to use it. That said, we're this middle layer, right? We're JavaScript libraries that talk to Ethereum smart contracts. And if we wanted to swap out that Ethereum layer for, I don't know, EOS or some other blockchain, we could do that very easily. And all of the marketplaces that are built on top of Origin don't have to change anything because our code is a sort of middle layer sitting in between. That said, the biggest problem for us today, and people are like, Ethereum doesn't scale or whatever. The biggest problem for us is how do we get people to use this? Right? Our number one problem is how do we get more users? How do we create more scaling problems? And once we do, we have some of the best engineers in the world working on our project. People who've scaled applications to hundreds of millions of users at PayPal and YouTube. And so we have a lot of the technical talent we need to be able to address those scaling problems, whether it's staying on Ethereum and fixing some of the scaling problems with sidechains or Plasma or other sharding options, or if it's porting to another chain. I think we have a lot of different options. We're also starting to look at our own nodes, like maybe we run Origin nodes and have this as another opportunity for people to earn Origin tokens by being one of these nodes in the network. It allows us to do things like search, which is really hard for us to do in the decentralized way right now. So that's something we're looking into as well. Nothing to announce at this point. But if people are interested, they should reach out. If there's any people are interested in running like Origin nodes or being validators for us, that's something that we're currently gathering interest for right now.
It will be interesting. And you said that you have a lot of talented engineers. Can you tell us a little bit more about your team? Where are you sitting now? Where you have your office or not? If you have, where is it? And what all the stuff?
Yeah, we have a very distributed team. So myself and Matt are in San Francisco, and most of our team is here in San Francisco. So we have, like I said, early engineers from PayPal, YouTube, Dropbox. A lot of engineers on our team spent time at Silicon Valley companies like Google and Palo Alto Networks. But we have a very distributed team as well. So we have engineers in Boulder, Colorado, in New Zealand, in Slovenia, in India, and we have other employees in Asia as well, in Singapore and Korea. And so we have people all over the world that are participating and contributing to the work that we're doing at Origin.
Nice to hear.
How do you communicate with all of your team? It might be difficult if you're not sitting in one office part of the time.
So again, open collaboration is really the key for us. So all of our meeting notes are public. Discord, it's originprotocol.com/Discord. All of you are invited to come and watch as we work. So we do all our work in public. You can actually watch, we're doing support. We're, talking about new features. We're giving feedback on new designs. We're working on a new website design right now, and you can follow along as we're discussing how we want to, which color these buttons should be or how we want to change that. And so even the trivial details that we're working on discussing, all of our work is done in public. And so one of our slogans of the company is default to public. And so it makes it very easy for people to see what we're working on, but also makes it very easy for people to jump in and contribute and help. And so we have a very unique hiring process. So we don't do any whiteboard interviews at Origin. You can't, we won't sit you down and ask you to draw a linked list on the whiteboard. Instead, we just say, send us a pull request, right? If there's 150 contributors to our code base, just jump in, right? Find some open issues, start contributing. And then we recruit very, very heavily from the people who are actually contributing and already contributing to our code. And the very best get to come on and work with us full time.
So what the competitors have for their job? They are trying to make more code and something like that. What they are getting back? Money, tokens, or something like that, or what?
I think we're tapping. It varies from person to person. Obviously, our full-time employees are paid. A lot of people start contributing either out of interest in getting a full-time job, but there's a large group of people who just want to do it as a learning experience. It's a chance to better understand how this technology works. It's a good chance to work with some of the top engineers in the world, right? How often do you get the chance to work alongside the founder of PayPal or first engineer from YouTube? How often do you get the opportunity to have your code reviewed by people like that? And it's a really great learning opportunity for new developers who are wanting to up their game and increase their skills. It's also just a chance to build your network, right? I started contributing to open source years ago, and I found it being incredibly rewarding to be able to learn new things and then to meet these amazing engineers who would help me be better at my job and to be exposed to new ideas and better ways of doing things. And so I think we're tapping into a lot of those motivations, as well as just this is one of those ideas that inspires a lot of people. There's a lot of people who have experienced the downsides of centralized marketplaces before. One of our engineers, Nick, he was annoyed at Ticketmaster. I think a lot of people can relate to this. You want to go to a concert and the ticket is $50, and then there's $25 of fees on top of that, and everyone just goes, "I hate you," right? This is a horrible, horrible experience. And so, Nick got interested in Origin largely because he was so tired of that and was like, maybe we can use this for decentralized ticketing. We cut out the egregious fees that are being charged by ticketing agencies. Other people have experiences like me where they were doing home share, right? And they got banned in their city and started looking for other alternative ways to do it. So people are this is one of those ideas that inspires a lot of people, and a lot of people just want to be a part of this and really believe that this is going to be a future. And it's always exciting to be able to get in the ground floor of something that's going to be huge one day.
Okay, I'm looking now for your site Shop Origin and other sale goods there. Yes?
Yes.
And okay, so maybe you can, I think that you have already some statistics on your marketplace. Maybe can you tell us some interesting stuff, or some interesting statistics about, I don't know, most visits at the moment, how many purchases I made, in which countries the buyers are most active, and from which countries the sellers is. Okay, it will be interesting.
Or you can tell us.
Yeah, so we have we're about 9,300 unique wallets on our platform. So that's how many people have used our platform. And then we have somewhere between 2,000 and 3,000 completed purchases that have been made on the platform. So it's still early days. Compared to the applications that our team have worked at in the past, these are trivial, small numbers. But when you compare us to other blockchain projects, it puts us in the top 5%, right? Immediately just from having that level of usage on our platform today. As far as geographic distribution, we're based here in the United States, so we see some usage here. Obviously, China and Korea are huge markets for us, and we see a lot of people using it there. A lot of early adoption, and Russia as well. So I'd say those are the 4 top regions for us: China, Korea, Russia, and the United States. I don't have exact numbers off the top of my head on the distribution between those, but we see a good mix of listings coming in all those different languages. And one of the things we're working on right now is how do we filter them? How do we do better filtering and show relevant listings to people based on where they're based and which language they speak. So when we first started, we didn't have enough listings for us to start filtering because we didn't have enough. Now we're starting to get to that point where it makes sense for us to start showing only Russian listings to people in Russia and similarly in other regions of the world as well.
So how many listings and purchases per day do you have on your platform?
I don't know the daily number. It like fluctuates quite a bit based on a number of factors.
Weekly or monthly?
Yeah, so I can say like over all time we've had about 2,000 completed purchases on our platform.
All time. This is how many time?
This is over 2 years.
2 years.
This is over 2 years, but we've only been only been on one mainnet for 1 year. So we spent a year building, launched on mainnet, and we've been live on mainnet for about a year.
2,000 for 2 years or 1 year?
No, one year.
So
and most of this is really in the last few months because things are really starting to accelerate and people are starting to build momentum.
Okay, and I saw that, and you said about this too, that you have all these goods to be paid on the crypto. So I think that you have or you will have some problems about how to get money on the crypto from the common users. So maybe you have some on-ramp solutions, or maybe it's not now working. Maybe you have it in the future on the project. I don't know. Can you tell us about this problem and how you want to solve it?
Yeah,
because it's big enough, I think.
It is a big problem. It's something we debate a lot internally. I think our team is split about down the middle. Half of our team say we have to solve it. We need to make this work with credit cards and regular banking because there just aren't enough people who have crypto. So we need to figure out the on-ramps and how to do that. The other half of our team says, no, we need to focus on people who already have crypto. It's too hard to merge these two concepts. And the reason is these systems are quite incompatible and just the way they're designed, right? So cryptocurrency, it has near very fast finality, and you can't reverse transactions. Whereas a credit card gives you months to reverse that transaction. And so this is, those two systems are very hard to tie together because if you can pay with a credit card, the crypto can be moved off to an exchange and disappear, and 2 or 3 months later, the buyer can reverse that credit card charge. And so that's very problematic and one of the things that we've really grappled with. There are new providers that are coming out that are offering to help with that, where basically you take on that risk in the form of fees. And so there are new providers now that will allow you to pay with a credit card, get crypto, and then you can do a transaction on our marketplace. But the risk there means that you have to do 2 things. 1, you have to have a high fee, and 2, you have to go through onerous KYC to reduce the risk for the credit card merchant, right? So they don't want to take on the risk of chargebacks, and what they do is they ask for your passport or your driver's license, and then they charge you a 5% or 10% fee or something on top of that. And so that becomes a very onerous process when you compare it to shopping on Amazon. Now on Amazon, you just put in your credit card, boom, you've got the thing. none of this extra friction. If you want to buy a t-shirt and suddenly the website pops up asking you to upload a picture of your passport, pretty sure you're just going to bounce and go somewhere else. And so I think that's going to be a very hard thing for people to rectify. Hopefully crypto adoption will improve, and maybe we'll get better risk models so that people are more comfortable providing credit card on-ramps. Off-ramps are just as important for sellers, right? If you're earning in crypto, you need to, but your fixed costs are in fiat, you need some way of getting that money off. Thankfully, that's a lot easier to solve, right? So it's a lot easier to go the other direction. Getting from crypto to back to fiat is very low risk. So there's no, because you have that finality, once you get the crypto, it's better money. It's better money than the fiat money you have. And so I think we'll solve the off-ramps a lot sooner and a lot easier than we'll be able to solve the on-ramps.
Nice to hear it. Hope the adoption will continue. Okay, and one more big question about legalization. I know that usually it's you can't answer a lot about all the stuff, but I cannot ask about it. Did you have any problems in your jurisdiction about legalization? And second part of this question, if I'm in some country and I will buy something on your marketplace, can I get some letter about, I don't know, that I can't use cryptocurrencies to buy some goods or all the stuff? Is it real case or not? What are your thoughts about that?
Yeah, so we sort of draw a bright line between Origin Protocol, this open source standard. The code is open on GitHub. Anyone can use it. And anyone can take it and run their own instance of Origin. You can run your own marketplace. You can connect to you can connect directly to Ethereum and IPFS and run your own instance of Origin without any permission from anyone. So we draw a bright line between Origin, that open standard, and Origin Protocol, the US-based company with founders who don't want to spend a single day of their lives in jail. And so when you so what that means in practical terms is that we're going to be very careful about the things we do. We're not going to take we're not going to do anything that's going to land us in jail. But we're writing open source code, which is protected very strongly by free speech laws, and so people can run these own instances themselves. What we think is going to happen is we're going to have regional caching layers in front of the DApp, and maybe you'll have different hide lists for different regions of the world. So if you live in Netherlands, it's completely legal to buy weed. But if you're in lots of other parts of the world, that's not true. And so what we can imagine is you'll start having different hide lists for different regions. Maybe you'll have different marketplace operators in different regions of the world, and you'll be able to connect to those different providers, and they'll show you different types of listings based on the local regulations there. That said, none of this is being deleted or censored. You can always connect to the blockchain directly and get access to the full corpus of listings all over the world.
Okay. And did you have some questions?
What about your community? How active is it? How many people are trying to do something? Or simple, not coders, not contributors of translators or something like that.
Sure. So yeah, I can give you some numbers. So biggest numbers, we've got over 100,000 people on our email list. We've got tens of thousands of people in our Telegram group who are following the project from that. We also have people who are taking that next step, right? We're closing in on 10,000 people who've used our marketplace or created a profile on our marketplace, and then the people who are diving in and taking that next step. Over 150 contributors to the open source side, and over 50 volunteer translators who are helping us with our content. So very strong community, not only in the United States. In fact, I'd say we're probably even stronger in other parts of the world in different ways. So we've got thriving community in Russia. If you go on our Telegram, you'll see a lot of the messages are in Russian. So we have a very strong Russian community, but not only in Russia, but we have very strong community in Korea and China as well. And honestly, the entire world, when I pull up Google Analytics and I look at where visitors are coming from and where people are using our application, it's the entire globe, right? The map is just green, right? There's people everywhere who are using this and are excited to be a part of this.
So we just shared the link of our live stream in your Telegram group, but
Wonderful.
None of the users joined us. Why is they are not interested of their favorite platform co-founders?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I think it's indicative of the macro environment, right? I think 2 years ago there was a lot of excitement about jumping into people's telegrams, hoping to be a part of an airdrop, and hoping to be able to make some quick money in ICO, right? I think all of us know those days are over, and things have changed, right? So I think our Telegram is not as crazy and wild as it was 2 years ago during the crazy period.
So this is the old,
but despite
old
that,
people, yes?
What's that?
Old people from 2 years ago?
Sure. But what's happened, despite the macro environment changing, what we've seen is we've continued to build, right? And so while the hype may have died down and people have left our Telegram group or moved on, what's actually happened is people have actually been doubling down and actually using our marketplace, have actually been helping write code and helping to run these marketplaces and create listings and buying things on the decentralized web. And so I think it's attracting a different type of people, and I think the audience has shifted, and we're not in the same macro environment that we were during this whole crazy ICO run-up phase.
And were you able to get any benefits from these crazy times that was 2-3 years ago?
Yeah, for sure, right? We were very fortunate to get a lot of attention. One of the reasons that Origin is so well known all over the world is because of that run up and all of the hype they were able to do. Being known around the world as a top project really helped get out our message and get access to a much larger audience than we might have been able to otherwise.
Nice. And can you give us some your vision, where you see Agent in a year, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years, something like this? So what is your expectation, how it will be in the future?
How it will grow up or something like that?
Sorry, what's that?
How it will grow up and
yes. Yeah. So I think sure. So when we think about it is where are the places where blockchain has an advantage, right? When you're using the blockchain, you're using the slowest, most expensive computer in the world. And so if you're going to use it, you better have some really good reason why to do it, right? And so it's when we think about where to start, we have to look at the areas where centralized marketplaces are failing, where they're failing their users, where they're charging egregious fees, when they're not available when users want them, when they're not rewarding the people who are actually doing all the work and creating the value in the network. Those marketplaces where people who are cut out from being able to transact, people in emerging markets of third world countries. We have a thriving community in Venezuela, for example, right? People who are their currency sucks, right? And so these people are able to keep their money in cryptocurrency and transact and make money in that, and it's great. And so when we think about where we start, how do we get from where we are today with very few users, but a big vision and a lot of excitement. From that to replacing every marketplace out there. What does that path look like? How do we get there? We have to start by focusing on the marketplaces where blockchain can solve these unique problems, right? Whatever marketplaces with the most egregious fees, that's a great place to start. Wherever marketplaces that are not able to exist in a centralized world. And so we think about things like home sharing. That's an interesting category because you have high fees, for one. Two, it's been banned in all these different cities around the world. You have all of these individuals who want a chance to earn more money, right? If you've got a spare bedroom and you want to rent it out, that's a great way to make money. And if you can get some tokens alongside doing that as well, why would you not do that instead of using an Airbnb or a centralized provider? And if it allows you to connect to new buyers and new marketplaces, that's super exciting as well. And so we think about I don't know exactly what the path is going to look like, but we're always looking for that place where blockchain has an advantage over what we have right now. It's a terrible pitch if we say, hey, use us instead. It's slower and the experience is rougher and you have to have crypto and you need to back up your private keys and here's 24 words you have to write down on a piece of paper. That's not a good pitch. Unless there's something that we can provide, something that we can offer that you can't get on the alternatives today. And so that's where we're really focused, right? Where are these marketplaces, where are the opportunities where the incentive is high enough, the motivation is high enough for people to get across that hurdle of all of the friction that's involved with using a decentralized application. And over time, that friction is going to decrease, right? Where we're spending a lot of effort and a lot of time focusing on improving the user experience, taking some of the best practices from Silicon Valley startups that highly, highly successful companies are in this part of the world, and whatever lessons we can learn and how to make them easy to use and scalable, and how we grow them to millions of users. And that's what we're planning to do over the next 1 to 5, 10 years. I mean, we're in this for the long run. Both Matt and I have had successes in our past companies. And one of the things for me personally is I only want to work on companies that I can envision myself working at for the rest of my life. And for me, Origin checks that box, right? It's something that's important enough to work on and something that needs to exist in the world. And I'm having a lot of fun being able to work on this. And it seems like something that's really important and meaningful for the world.
Nice nice vision. So I think that you, like many companies in crypto space, didn't see that agent will turn to the like a pivot. I think that it is not possible with the agent. You still will be a marketplace and trying to do all what you can for give it access. Yes.
Yeah, I think we're going to stay in marketplace. I think it's unclear how much we're going to focus on specific verticals versus staying broad platform. Our vision is not to be marketplace operators ourselves. We want to create this protocol for hundreds of different types of marketplaces to thrive and exist. And what exact verticals are going to take off, we don't know. And so it might be that one vertical really takes off before the others. And it might be that we dedicate a lot more time and resources to one category versus something else. But I think, we're pretty convinced that this technology, decentralized marketplaces are inevitable. This technology is coming. Middlemen that have their time is limited. Whether it's Origin or someone else down the line, this is just inevitable. This is going to happen. And so we're just excited to do our part to be able to move that ball down the field and get us closer to that end goal that we think is going to happen.
Okay. One more question about your partnerships. You said before that you want to use IPFS and you living in San Francisco. I don't know, living or only based. Okay. Yep. And we know that IPFS is a Filecoin project too. So maybe you have some partnerships there. Maybe you each meet each other sometimes. Maybe you have some big and other partnerships from other the world. Can
Sure.
you?
Yeah. So we have two different types of partnerships at Origin. One is what we call technology partners, and then the second one is the marketplaces that are building on top of Origin. So in the first category, we have partnerships with companies like IPFS and Filecoin. It's not about they're also a permissionless system. So it's not like we had to go and meet in their office and ask them, hey, can we sign a contract together? We just started using it, just like anyone can just start using Origin. You don't have to come and ask our permission.
For sure, but they can help you in some problems.
But they can help us, and they do, right? And so one of the things that Protocol Labs is doing, the company behind IPFS, is they're pinning all of our content. So one of the big Filecoin doesn't exist yet, as you know, and so there's no incentivization layer for listings to stay around. So the problem is if Origin turned off our servers, our IPFS servers, we want to make sure that content doesn't disappear, right? And so Protocol Labs have been kind enough to pin all of our data. So there's now at least Origin and Protocol Labs will keep a copy of everything that you do on the Origin platform. And of course, other people, other marketplace operators and other people in the community can choose to keep that content around as well. So that's one great technology partnership we have. Another one is with the MakerDAI team. So DAI, of course, is a really popular stablecoin, and it's a great way for people to actually transact on our platform without exposing themselves to currency volatility. A lot of our listings are denoted in US dollars. For example, we have a lot of gift cards that are for sale on our marketplace. It's very hard to sell a $100 gift card with Ethereum because the price of Ethereum is constantly moving around. So for listings like that, DAI makes a lot of sense, and DAI and the MakerDAO team have been incredible partners for us. And again, permissionless. We didn't have to go ask them to.
Okay. Let's talk about this, about the price and how I you solve this problem. I use some oracles, or how you solve this problem?
So we use a price oracle to show you what price is. All of it.
They decentralized too.
Those are centralized oracles that we're using right now for price.
Okay. Oh, nice.
But that just if they go down, you just see the price in Ethereum or DAI. So it falls back nicely, where it shows you the price in dollars. But then when you actually go to, or it'll show your price in dollars or rubles or yen, or depending on where you are in the world, it will show you your local currency, because most people are used to thinking in their local currency. Even people who use crypto all the time, like myself, I still I don't think natively in Ethereum prices for everyday purchases that I want to make. I want to be able to think about it in dollars. And so we show a price in your local currency. But then when you actually make a transaction, of course, you see the amount that you're actually sending in Ethereum or DAI, because that's what's actually being sent across the wire.
And for the fiat currency, you use the same way of oracles, or how? What is your approach at this?
Yeah, so we're just using oracles to show you what the local price is. It doesn't actually impact the price, right? It doesn't change the price. We don't accept those currencies, but we just show you those prices so you can you know how to reason about it.
So anyway, you will pay in Ethereum or DAI, yeah?
Ethereum or DAI, and once we're listed on exchanges, expect to be able to pay with Origin tokens as well. But that'll be coming. But obviously we need a price for Origin token before we can turn that on.
And what is your expectation when in the Origin token will have some price? Half of a year, 2 years? I don't know.
We can't announce any specifics around that. but we're something we're actively looking at. We've had a lot of inbound interest, as you can imagine, from all the top exchanges out there, and we think it's an important step for us to take. Like you highlighted, everyone who participates in Origin Rewards, the first question they ask is, what is it worth? And so we think it becomes a lot more compelling once we can tell them, right? Once we have a price associated with it, now it becomes a lot more real for people, and now they're even more incentivized to continue using the platform and inviting their friends to do so as well.
And now it's the common question: do you have some EO, ICO of your tokens, or you don't know about this now? Or you want to do like airdrop or another?
Yeah, so we've already raised a lot of funding. So Origin's already raised $38 million. We're backed by some of the largest investors in the space, including Pantera Capital, which are well known for their Bitcoin fund and their ICO fund. A lot of Silicon Valley VCs, so Foundation Capital, angel investors, like people like Alexis Ohanian, who was the founder of Reddit, as an investor.
So you're not got away in this year.
So I have no comment on whether we'll do additional sales now. I think listing is something that we're actively working on, and so
okay.
That's going to be something that people will be able to participate in.
Okay, my questions are over. Andrew, do you have some?
Maybe I think we should going to finish our conversation, kind of.
Okay.
So what can you tell us in general? I don't know, wishes maybe for our viewers, and something about crypto, positive, something positive about crypto adoption in general.
Crypto adoption. Well, so one thing I'll just say, leave everyone there. Everyone should have some Origin tokens. Take advantage of it. We want everyone to be a part of it, what we're building. We're giving away free money, so go get it. Origin Rewards would love for you to be a part of what we're building. If you want to learn more, if you want to contribute, there's lots of ways to do that. More broadly, I think, just speaking about cryptocurrency in general, we're inspired by the power of blockchain to tear down walls, right? To remove borders. And one of the things we've seen throughout history is that the biggest thing that's torn down walls between countries and the people is free trade. It's one of the biggest reasons we live in one of the most peaceful times in all of history, is because we learned it's more profitable for us to trade with each other than for us to fight and kill each other. And so one of the coolest things for us is just making it easier for people to trade across borders and to continue to tear down walls and bring people together, no matter where they live around the world. And I think we're even seeing that right now. Here we are, video chatting across the world. This would never have happened without the power of blockchain. And it's something that gets me excited all the time. And right, we're still in the very early days in this industry. But I think all of us are here, and we're all excited about the potential of what this has, what the world's going to look like in the future, thanks to this amazing technology that we have.
I have one more question for you.
Okay.
Sorry for this. It's a general question.
Okay.
How did the company name appear? Do you mean something by this? Is it something like, let's back to the origin, like P2P marketplace where people can do some buys and sells with each other, or
So origin just means the beginning, the start, and so we think of this as the start of the next era of commerce. We've gone through different eras of commerce before. Started from Craigslist and eBay were first to, like, Craigslist started by taking classifieds out of a newspaper and putting them onto the internet. eBay took it one step further and said it doesn't matter if you're in the same city or not. Now the internet has connected every human on the planet to every other human on the planet. eBay took it one step further. Now we have all these sharing economy type marketplaces with Ubers and Airbnbs. The next phase is this decentralized peer-to-peer commerce, right? And so Origin, we thought the name made sense because it's the start of this, it's the beginning of this new type of commerce. And we just like it.
Nice. Okay. Thanks a lot for joining us. Thanks for sharing your vision of Origin. Thanks for
making the decentralized future possible. Or closer.
Thank you guys for hosting. It's great to meet both of you, and thank you to all your viewers for tuning in and hanging out with us today.
I'm sure that Origin will have success, so we'll wait this time.
Thank you for your support.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Bye.